What's going on, folks? I am going to be doing some recording for YouTube because I'm trying to start that, and I'll be doing some jiu-jitsu here on live. What's up, Jake? So today we're going to work some of the things that I did with those bag drills, but it is going to be moving from side control to knee on belly and starting your attacks from there. Lay down over there just so I can see if I got it right. Yeah. There we go. What's going on, folks? All right. So, ready, Eddie? So I can introduce you. What's going on, folks? It's me, Matt. This is my good friend, Dave Gilrain. I've known Dave forever and a day, probably like 15, 16 years, maybe even more. Yeah. Today we're going to work some techniques moving from side control to knee on belly, and then some knee on belly techniques, and then maybe some finishes. But even if we just stick in the knee on belly, keeping that crushing pressure on somebody, it's nice to be able to do that to somebody. And it's a good way to break somebody down. Like I talk about a lot with my students, like if you have a good knee on belly, submissions sort of write themselves. I don't have to try and submit people too often. So it's just, my knee on belly makes it easier to submit them. Like, so when I'm putting knee on belly and then trying to escape, they will start doing just about anything. They'll start making deals with the devil to escape if you have good enough pressure on somebody. That's almost always my goal. I'm gonna go with that. Stay put.
Can we start again?
What?
Can we start again?
Start again? No.
Yeah, 'cause I had trouble recording the beginning.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
What part? I gotta say all that stuff again?
Kinda, yeah.
Dude, you're killing me. You're killing me, Eddie. Does this go down? I think it does. No, it doesn't. Yeah, if anybody's getting frustrated, join the club. I'm not really, most of you know me, I'm not really a technologically advanced person. I'm closer to the Stone Age. So, you ready, Eddie? All right. Hey, what's going on? It's me, Matt. I'm here with my good friend Dave Gilrain, who I've known for quite a while. We're going to work on some knee on belly stuff, moving from side control to knee on belly, using our skills to maintain knee on belly, and then submitting. The way I look at knee on belly is submissions write themselves if you've got good top pressure. If I can hold Dave down to the point where he can't get up, he will do everything in his power to escape it. And usually people will start making mistakes then. So the overarching goal here is not to keep my knee stuck in his belly, it's to always be able to return to that position. So if Dave starts to make some headway in his escape, I try and shut it down, and then I go right back to knee on belly. So it's that repetitive nature of my knee on belly that gets frustrating. Yeah, so have some fun. We'll do some knee on belly. We're gonna start off with your head this way. I'm in top side control. A lot of times I talk about like the translation of judo and jiu-jitsu is the giving way or the gentle way. And that means instead of fighting force with force, you fight force by giving way and letting the stronger person succeed. In this instance, I'm way stronger than Dave. I'd crush him if I wanted to. No, I'm just kidding. But if Dave puts his hips in and uses good technique, and he does everything right to escape, he'll make an escape, especially if I try and hold him in position. My thinking in jiu-jitsu is to always give way and to make sure that as he's fighting into one thing, he's moving into the next phase of the match where I'm still ahead of him. So he's going to do a traditional underhook escape with a hip bump, and I'm going to let him go. So when he bumps and turns, I step forward. I put my knee up right away. Okay? So we'll turn a little bit, back down. He gets that underhook, he bumps, go. I move my head off to the side to make my leg light. I put my knee up high, right? I can start moving into mounted positions and start making attacks here, but most people will back off when they hit that So I'm not really too worried. So when my knee hits here, if Dave doesn't back off, he's got a bunch of problems. I'm going knee on hip. I've got this Kimura all day long. I can start transitioning to mount. I can start looking at collar attacks. But in general, this is an uncomfortable position, so he's gonna start fighting to get his hips back underneath him, get his back to the mat. And look, I'm in knee on belly. All right, so turn your head sideways again. So right here is not my preferred position on knee on belly. I don't wanna be across his body, but this is where he's fought back to. When people end up here, I'm always trying to stay on this side of his belly button. Let me know if it hurts, if it's uncomfortable for your ribs. I want to be on this side of his belly button, usually below the V of his diaphragm. The xiphoid process is right here, a little bit low, that's his diaphragm. Between his diaphragm and his belly button, that's the height of my knee on belly. It's not an exact science, so don't start measuring things when you're doing this to people. And the big secret that my coach taught me is to not put your weight straight down, it's to roll across. So if I'm in this position, Dave wants to turn towards me, he has to rotate as a ball, so I give pressure rolling across, constantly pushing him like I'm rolling a ball down the hill or a boulder over the top of a mountain. I'm not pushing down. If I push down and Dave moves, boom, I smash my knee into the concrete or wherever, glass on the floor, which is the arch nemesis of all black belts. I've got to watch out, my knee goes straight down, I'll get hurt. Instead, I'm putting pressure through and across. So when Dave tries to turn into me, he's not very strong in that position. I can use my quick touch hands. In this Corona season, I don't want to make long contact with anybody, so my hands are touching to push him back down. All right, so let's watch. Here's the transition again. He gets an underhook, he bumps. I step up, I put my knee right across. My weight's on him. I can power him down. I can start making attacks like I want to finish him. He's going to most likely put his back to the mat. I use my hands to push. I get back here. Now my knee is pushing across his belly. All right, I'm rolling that pressure through. My head and body stays on this side. I'm not a big fan of making these grasps, cross collar and pant legs. I don't like to make binds or make situations where he can fight back easily. So I keep my hands to myself, my hands stay back. All right? And that's step one. That's the first position we're gonna go towards. All right? Next part. When I get here, Dave's gonna start trying to escape. Most people will try and escape. They don't just sit there and try and stay safe. If they do, we can still make attacks, but we're gonna start with attacks based on his escapes or shutdowns based on him trying to escape, all right? So we've made the bump. I turn my head, I'm in position, he's back on his back. When I'm talking, I'm gonna keep my knee on the ground. I'm gonna cheat and be a little bit nice to Dave. I'm gonna keep my left knee on the ground. The motions are still the same. It's always this pressure of me opening my knee and rolling across, and now my hands are here. When Dave starts to turn towards me, it's always a block at the shoulder, at the bicep, if his arms are in close, at the wrist, and it's always me rolling him back to the mat. You see how that's a little uncomfortable? That's the attack to go into key lock from here. So when he makes this turn and tries to bump into me, I block his biceps. If his elbow's on the mat, he can't turn sideways. Come back a little bit. If I keep his elbow pinned to the mat, there's no way he'll rotate toward me because he has to leave his arm so far behind. He doesn't like that feeling. He's uncomfortable. So this will be one of my pins, but like the same deal. I don't want to leave my hands on him long. So my hands here, I back off. I'm back into position. He moves in, he tries to turn. Here's the block. Here's the block. Go ahead, turn. Yeah, I just block his wrist. And I'm making my attack. I'm ready to key lock and Kimura. My thinking is, I shut down your resistance, your escape. I go back into position though. So now Dave's trying very hard to move. I block. I lift up my leg. I move my knee back into position. Again. I block at the shoulder and the hip. I take my leg off. My head side knee goes into chest. I switch again. I lift his knee. It's always that. It's always me not resisting his escape, but countering the escape. So instead of trying to fight and keep his hips flat or keep his shoulders from moving, I just cope with it. I do any escape. I block, yeah. I can block here and be very comfortable. Dave still has to get his knee in to get guard. I block his knee, I move back into position. His hand on the mat is the worst thing in the world for him right now. Want to hear more? Let me know when you need a break. It gets to be a pain in the ass. So when I make these moves and go ahead, make your block. Yeah, I've got position on his arm. I'm going to Kimura him, or I'm going to armbar him. He knows this. He's going to try and put his back flat to the mat. I let go. Push his wrist down. Turn sideways. I push his wrist to the mat. The same thing that we're doing with the knee on belly is how we get those arms free. So I'm here. He's turned into me. I move, I block here. His hands come down. I don't push his hand to the mat. I roll it off his hip. And it slides. So if he's turning into me, I just push his arm behind him. I roll it up and over the hill, and I'm in attack position, right? So it's a lot to unpackage right here, right? The first phase is he turns into me. I block. I either stop him from making the turn or I block, take my knee off, go right back into knee on belly pressure. All right? It happens again. Same block. I'm going to block that knee open. If I can stop his hips and his shoulders from turning toward me, there's no way he can become strong. I block here, I put my knee in chest, and now I go back into position. I want this arm now, so I've shut him down a few times. Now I want the arm, I push it to the mat. I'm in position to attack. He can put his back to the mat if he wants, if I let him. I've got him in position to finish this attack all day long though. So again. So if he wants to be passive, that's fine. If he wants to just try and keep himself safe, that's fine. I'm here, knee on belly. He's keeping his arms in tight. I just start pushing his arm to the mat. Right here, my hand's on his shoulder. I open my hand, I push to the heel of my hand, pin his hand to the mat. I don't ever expect to take a key lock from somebody like that, but if you're stuck on bottom and someone just powers you down to the mat like that, and it's not really a power thing, it's an angle thing, you start stressing out. What's the matter with you?
The battery died.
The battery died. Yo, I'm gonna strangle you with that camera strap, dude.
I'm gonna charge it real quick.
Yeah, real quick.
But I got a lot of it. It's looking good.
Welcome to my world. I picked the one person who's worse at technology than me to help out. And he's like, yo, I'll come videotape you for all of 7.5 minutes. So let's see if Dave paid attention right now. So I move here. No, move your head. Stay down. So keep this knee on the mat. Come back to side control. When I bump, move your head, put your weight on this knee, lift that leg up. You see?
Yep.
Nice and balanced, right? And now you can move to mount, you can have all those attacks. There you go. Push, don't pull, don't make binds, right? If I try and turn into you, stop at the shoulder, but move your knee. No, move it off. So I turn into you, you back it up, step back, there you go. Nice, there you go. And don't be jumpy, push and slow. I move, get to here, yeah. Right here, push my wrist, pin my wrist. Up and over the hill, there you go. Now you go knee on belly. Good bump. And you escape, right? You just block my turn, move out and away, get your leg clear, and now you come back into attack. You can go knee on neck, knee on chest, it doesn't really matter here. I love knee on neck. I'm a roughneck, so. Do we even get that? Yeah, that's still ours. So that's a real good position to work from, right? So the attacks are easy there also, right? So let's look at how I want to make, I'm going to force you to attack. If you try to play safe, I'm going to force you to escape and make you start defending yourself. So lay down, head facing that way. So I'm sure you all have been here at some point or another. People are going to try and play safe. They're going to try and keep their arms in tight and defend themselves, not really overcommit in their escape. They're going to just try and wiggle their hips and try and bump. That's fine, right? So when they do that, I make a decision. If their arms are high, I can attack their arms and make my key lock attacks. If I want this arm here, this is a cool trick my Coach Carlos Machado showed a long time ago. Pretend like you have a key in your hand, you turn your head and slice it in, all right? And now this part we're talking about right now is like my coach is like all my coach's input right here. I didn't figure any of this out on my own. If his hands are low and attacking my knee, I attack his collar. And I don't really have to make a deep attack. It's right here, shallow. I just hold his bond part here. My top hand's in position. If I want to finish his attack, I drive my elbow to the mat. I make him tap. It doesn't matter that I don't care about finishing this choke. I care that Dave's hating life right now. So when he's trying to stay safe and keep his arm tight, I just grab here. And I'm fine with this. And I don't even have to worry about making the attack. I can hang back like this and put all my weight on my knee. And the second he starts really pushing my knee, I push my elbow to the mat. I can just sit here and chill out. I can do it one-handed, but this is great. I'm leaning, I'm very, very safe. If he knee bumps me or does anything cool like that, I just push my elbow to the mat. Every single time he does anything, it's a great way to torture somebody. That's what I think knee on belly should be all about. Is you're there to break somebody. I'm there to always make people quit when I put my knee on your belly. So that's the top part of the attack, right? We can pin the elbows here. We can make the key movement in. We can make that shallow choke. That shallow choke's a pain in the butt. Because you don't have to commit to it, right? When I wasn't committed to it, it was still not fun, right? It's still like, it's like you're wearing a tie. I know most people in the jiu-jitsu world don't ever have to do that, but it's like you're wearing a tie that's a little bit too tight all the time. That's how I play that. So when I'm in that position, I'm not going to commit to anything until I get the attack that I want. And it's usually going to be based on an overcommitment on my opponent's behalf. What I am going to do is I'm going to make you move. I'm going to make you fight, and I can make that terrifying, right? So let's talk about the lower end of things, the legs, right? So I've got knee on belly. When he makes these turns into me, I'm going to block. And now watch. I can keep pushing my knee this way and only try and beat him at his upper body, but his body is a unit. So let's turn all the way this way. So when I block him here, I block, let me turn sideways, and my foot's going to start pushing him backwards, right? So as he turns into me, I block, my foot starts pushing him. I'm rotating him over and away from me. My foot is pushing him there. I can also turn your head this way. It seems like you're being disrespectful, but you're not. I'm just going to sit on him when he turns into me. Nothing personal, right? When he makes that hard bridge and turns into me, I put my butt on him. This is horrible. When my hip hits his abdomen, and now I'm pushing. As he starts trying to fight back, I'm pushing him onto his butt. Look where we are. I can go right into that shallow choke again, or I can start sitting, case Katami style positions. I can do whatever I want, or I can turn back and face him and get ready for knee on belly again. Right? That's the whole benefit. When he makes that turn, yeah, you feel it?
Yeah.
I'm dropping my butt right into his abdomen. I'm seated here. Pull this sleeve up. I'm right back in his position. Knee on belly. Start making my attacks for choke. Right? This is horrible. Pinning the shoulders is horrible, right? Rotating his knees away. And everything is I'm always looking to get right back into position. I don't want to go to the next movement. I don't want to take an arm bar. I want to kill you in knee on belly. All right? So let's take a quick break. Let his abs work out. Let's see if Dave picked up on it. So I get here, yeah, he goes knee on belly. And now I turn really hard, yeah. Low, and no, push with your hips. Yeah. Do that part again, knee on belly. There you go. Now push up. You see how you're taking your hips off me?
Yep.
Make this up. And you can do it wherever you want, but I want you to get used to doing it in one motion. So I turn here, boom. Now you push your hip, yeah. You see how you push my hip back and across. Now go to the belly, use your leg, your lower leg to defend yourself. So when I turn here, don't pull. Yeah, right there. There you go. This is a push to pin my shoulder, right? And just short prods. Anytime you really commit to putting your hand on somebody, you're committing to being vulnerable. We'll go into that next as a defensive posture. So when I'm here, right, you post. Now use your heel. Yeah. You see how that?
Yep.
Use like you're doing like a heel flip.
Yep.
All right. So like I was telling Dave, I'm gonna go into what I think are common, not errors, but they're just common behaviors, and I think that's what makes escaping knee on belly fairly easy for me, because these common behaviors are they're predictable. And it's easy for me to start my escape chain, either, the way I look at it, right, is I don't stop after each escape attempt. And if you stop me in one attempt, I'm moving on to the next attempt, and then the next one. It's like when you see those chain grappling moves, and I go for a kimura to an armbar to a wrist lock to a key lock to this. Like, I think of that in terms of jiu-jitsu, right? Everything I do is going to lead to a different answer. Either I'm going to succeed or I'm not. If I don't succeed, it's going to be a bunch of choices that they're going to make me make. And I'm fine with that. So when I start trying to escape, at each step of the way, there's going to be a chance for Dave to try and stop me. And each time he tries to stop me, I have to have an answer for it. So when I get here and I'm in bottom position, like Dave's grabbing my collar or my sleeve or doing whatever, everything he does to me is making me feel that he's making a commitment to my body. And it's like the suicide pact, right? If me and Dave are climbing mountains together and we tie to each other, it's not really for safety, it's like just so I won't die alone. Because if I fall, I'm going to yank him off a mountain. And same thing vice versa. So that's what I view grips as. You make any grip on me, you're making a suicide pact. Wherever I go, you're going to go. And wherever you go, I have to follow. And when you start grabbing me when I'm in a defensive posture, that suicide pact is fully operational. I stand by it, and we're going to do that right now. So I'm going to be in bottom. Dave's going to do some typical behaviors from knee on belly. I'm going to try and show you why I don't feel they're great or very safe. So not to put you on the spot like I'm going to tear your game apart, what's your preferred method when you go knee on belly? Or what's the one that bothers you most?
What do you mean what bothers me most?
When someone gets knee on belly on you, what do they do that gives you a hard time when it comes to escaping?
I mean, kind of what you were saying, it's more the knee on belly itself, not as much the attacks. Like,
So not the sleeve grips or collar grips?
Well, yeah, sleeve grips, but more just when someone has like a real good knee on belly.
Yeah.
Your point exactly, that can just kind of destroy you right there just by digging that
All
in.
right. So let's start with the grips and then we'll work into the overall knee on belly escape. So traditional grip is collar, sleeve, right there. So yeah, he's doing a good job. He's got the elbow to knee contact. He's got my sleeve. He's pulling my shoulder off the mat so my body's facing away from him a little bit, starting to face away, right? So first things first, I'm gonna make a grip onto him. And I'm not really one to grab people much, but I want to grip because if he's gonna hold my sleeve, hold tight, yeah, I want to change his shoulders. All right, you see how this is not as comfortable? So go ahead and make the fight, yeah, and as you're pulling on my sleeve, I'm holding onto that shoulder. And I've got to change his balance already. So I've got more of his weight on my hip. So my hand here isn't going to start pushing. I don't ever really push. I want to scoop, and I want to change his balance more. So now I'm facing my hips away. I'm going to bump my hips sideways. So I'm doing like a hip check. I'm not doing a bridge. Do you feel that?
Yep.
So I'm not trying to go here, which doesn't change his balance the way I want. My arms here, I hip check. And now when I turn back, you see how your balance is really, or you've got to back off here, right? So what's your next movement? Yeah, so we've stopped the collar and grip, and now I'm fully facing him. Now we can go back into our preferred escapes. But it's a way to shut down that grip. When he grabs me, I've got to make this grip right away. And, God, be strong when I go. Even when he's in a real strong position, he's got his hips involved, even with this all happening, right? I pull my elbow in, I've made him reinforce through his leg. Now his leg's more on me. So now when I bumped my hip, I've got him high. And now now that pressure that was pulling him forward is pulling him down, right?
Yep.
So when he was here, I was pulling his weight forward and arc to this position, right? No, keep strong, don't move you. Yeah, it's an arc this way. Once I make that one hip bump, now my elbow's pulling straight down underneath his shoulders. His balance is sharp. I've got him. But he's gonna correct for that, right? We're not gonna over assume that Dave has no idea what to do with his balance once he gets there. Right? And that's the one thing I like to try and keep in mind is if you're good enough to get into a position, you're good enough to stay there. And if that's gonna happen, then you've got to have multiple solutions to that problem. So there's no one-off escapes as far as I'm concerned, but sometimes it does happen that way. So let's look at a couple of them. Do you know how to do the, I think it's collar and leg, pant leg grip?
No, I don't know.
Some people will grab here and collar. Yeah, they start doing all these pulls and stuff like that. When this happens, it's pretty easy to escape. I just swing my legs away and I reach. All right, how does this feel?
Not good.
Yeah, you're real vulnerable. So if you hang onto my legs, I just pull you onto my chest, I roll you over. All right. Yeah, you got a good grip. So watch, it's here. It's always, I pull my knees to my chest and I go sideways. It's just, I mean, I'm finishing a drop Seoinage, really. You see that feeling?
Yeah.
I'm making you elongate that arm for me when it happens. So you can have my sleeve, it doesn't matter to me, right? Before you had my collar, it was the exact same throw. Watch, I just pull my knees to my chest, and I finish the throw.
Grab the collar.
You can grab whatever you want, dude. You can grab my other leg. It doesn't matter what leg you grab or anything like that. It's always this. So just so you all know, it doesn't matter how he grabs my legs. I'm going to pull my knees to my chest close to me. Then I'm going to extend them, stretch them away. Right here is the pressure. If he starts to back his weight off so I can't throw him. I'll just go to bottom to side control, yeah. He goes right here. I just start driving my hand over my head. I've got him. Just finish a throw. Whatever he does to control my legs is foolhardy because, all right, my arms are way stronger than Dave's legs, but it's not the same. No, I'm just kidding. Very few people's arms are way stronger than your legs, especially when you put both legs together plus your core to swing off of it. So all I'm doing is I'm just making a rope swing. I bring my knees in close, and now I expand it away. That's what's happening to his leg grip. I don't care how he has my legs, he's going for that ride. Right? Even if he's pulled in, he's leveraged into his own body or whatever, I'm going to take him with me. So my knees come to my chest, that bumps him a little bit north, maybe he starts fighting a little bit towards my legs anyway. Then I extend my legs, I rotate to my hip, my arm shoots underneath. Right? Does that describe exactly how it felt as I moved you?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, so we have that. We have any type of grip when you grab my sleeve. So let's go into regular escaping, regular escaping. Come on. So I know there are counters for all these techniques. I'm not concerned about it. So he's got me again. Well, go right back to this, right? When I pull now, he doesn't have me turn my shoulder off the mat. Maybe I grab right away. I don't want to fall in love with this grip because it could screw me over, but I'm not afraid of going after it right away. So when I pull, I'm going to pull to the mat, lift my knee right away. And I want to start turning. My options are this. Once I've gotten that balance exchange also, I'm only using that to get to here. I want to let go as soon as possible so you can't hang on to my arm. But now watch, my legs are going to swing and I start backing up. I don't expect to move Dave. I want to turn and I want to push off of him. I'm sideways to him now, right? And whatever his thought processes are, he's not going to be able to manifest them, right? My arm's not going to stay here. I'm going to bring my arm over my head. I'm going to bring my legs behind me. And now I'm in a position. Now I'm in a single leg position where we can wrestle from. Are we on camera?
Yeah.
So he's got me. Now we're going right back to that same initial post. He's got my sleeve. I've got his collar. I use my knee bump to raise his balance. I turn. I'm gonna get this arm out of here, but if he still holds onto my sleeve, watch. This is where my arm goes over my head as my legs go behind my body, right here. I've managed to work my way down. 1, 2. And then we can go right back into position, right? So the reason why I have to bring my arm over my head is, and this is the reason why you don't touch someone's hips when you're on bottom side, is if he can pull my arm to the ceiling, he can stop me from rotating toward the mat, right? That's the problem that this situation's having, right? So I've got here, I pull, I punch, and I start to move. As long as I let him control my arm, either by holding here, yeah, it makes it difficult, but watch, I bring my arm over my head, and you've lost your benefit, right?
Yep.
I bring that arm over my head, I can start corralling his sleeve and make my movements inward. All right? So if you get caught out there, someone's got your sleeve, bring your arm over your head, and that'll lower your shoulder profile. But also move your legs away from your opponent so you can get head to leg. So we have a third escape here. So I pull down, I knee bump, I start rotating. I'm always in the habit of just bring my leg around. Right here, I'm gonna hold on to this knee. And now I'm in attacking position. All right, so pretty simplistic stuff, but it's strong, right? Like, I'm an old school guy. Like, if you say my jiu-jitsu is basic, I take that as a severe compliment. Because I feel that expert usage of fundamentals and basics makes you an expert in anything. And I try and always make sure that everything's backed up with a mechanical advantage. Not a strength advantage, not a speed or anything like that. I just want to have the mechanical advantage. I want to be mechanically strong whenever I'm making my opponent do jiu-jitsu against me. Move it so they can see you. So I want to have a mechanical advantage so I can keep winning when I'm fighting somebody who's stronger than me, or younger than me in this case. I know he doesn't look it, but he is. So we started with top side control. Someone bumps, turns into you, get your knee on belly, right? You have that attack position there. Then we transition to ways to replace and keep that knee on belly orientation. I want their hips and shoulders facing the ceiling, so I keep blocking the arms. I lift the legs, I block the knee. I rotate people back on their back. And then we walked into how to make attacks where we slide the arm off into Kimura position. Or if someone's being safe with their hands low, we start making neck chokes. Then we did a little bit of escaping from bottom, ways to overcome traditional ways to be on top of somebody. So ways to deal with those grips and to change someone's balance and to knee bump and all those other things. And ways to keep your top position, sitting on them, using your lower leg to push them back flat, things like that. I hope this is helpful. Check out the video whenever y'all get a chance. I'll save this to my highlights. I think I know how to do it now. Thanks everybody. Thank you, Dave. Let me wave hi to everybody.
What?
People had questions. Holy cow. What was the question? Do one if they have double collars. All right, we'll do one last one for if they have double collars. Good question, Billy. All right, so for Billy Senecal, if they have double collars, I don't know if you mean as a choke or if they just like when you get bullied.
What do you want me to do?
I don't know. So we'll do both. So he's got me here. Like I said, in general, can you guys see me on the camera?
No.
Is it filming? Oh, it's filming backwards. Hit the reverse E.
Yeah.
There we go. So if he's got double grips on me, my policy whenever somebody grabs me is to grab them back. If he wants to hold on to me, I want to make sure he has to hold on to me. So when that happens, I'm going to grip his arms, or I'm going to grip his sleeves. I'll tend to grab at the armpits to pull him into me, and now that knee bump becomes deadly because he's got no arms to save his face. You can't hurt the moneymaker, right? That's the most important thing, is not land on your face. That's also why I'm going really slowly with this. When he grabs me, I'm going to grab him back, and now even if he abandons his arm, get your arms out of there. I had that simple knee bump, right? It's a little bit more tricky if he's going for the collar choke. Because, nope, I wouldn't commit that much. Just that shallow one that I was showing you. Just right there, yeah. Really shallow, like, same deal. Instead of trying to stop his arm, I'm gonna grip and pull him into me right away. And I'm gonna start trying to move underneath him and controlling this arm. When I have control of his arms, I feel much more confident. So he starts a collar choke. Even if he's choking me and putting his elbow to the mat, this is horrible. I pull in, and now look, I'm rotating underneath. And I make him do a forward roll pretty easily with my knee bump. I hope that was helpful, Billy. If not, next time we see each other, I'll help you. All right, take care, folks. Later. How do I turn this off? There we go.